Hello, I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
And this is Talking During the Movie.
It's the Talking During the Movie podcast with your hosts, Louie Gravance and Tony Whitten.
So for you more astute viewers, you may have noticed from our set dressing, you might be able to guess what movie we are reviewing this week.
Just from subtle clues.
Subtle hints. That's what we're all about here. Subtlety. We're going to review the new live-action Disney's Beauty and the Beast. And here we have some set decorations from the previous movie. Now, I know this movie begs comparison to the original. But
Of course it does.
I'd like to review mostly just this one on its own merits.
Well, then why don't you just go right ahead and do it just like you'd like to?
Oh, okay. I'm saying that I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was very well done. Mm-hmm. I will say, if I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there, I did like the original animated movie better.
I just thought you said you weren't going to compare them.
I'm saying let's get it out of the way.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to get it out of the way, but let's review this movie.
You can't get it out of the way, but go on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You almost cannot, but I'd like to say that that's my favorite Disney movie, and it's very special to me. But I thought this one it does its best to, I'd say, make up for some of the plot holes in the original. It does its best to add a little bit more. In a way that the stage version did not. I think the stage version also did well as far as adding things into it to help explain further the story. I can't say it's like the best picture. I can't say that, but I did have a good time. I did enjoy it. Continue, because I'm just rambling now.
Well, okay, first of all, I have a comment about the original, the 1991 version, which is that, it is one of the leanest, most efficient pieces of storytelling.
It moves along at a
in
clip.
all cinema. It is just not a wasted frame. It's just excellent. However, as a piece of animation, it is not one of the finest pieces of animation.
No.
No, it is not. And most animation aficionados will say it's not. There's lots of inconsistencies. It's kind of a mess if you're just looking at it from a piece of animation. But it is, the score and the story and the storytelling are so fantastic that it's captured a lot of people's heart the way it has yours.
Yes.
I didn't need to know, though, some of the questions that it answered. I didn't need to know how Belle's mother died. I didn't need to know how the prince's father felt about him. I didn't need to know how gay LeFou was for Gaston.
And honestly, I don't know what all the controversy is about. As long as we're on this, it blink and you miss it.
Well, at the end,
I
think it hits you over the head throughout. But
really? I think it's a blink and you miss it.
Who cares, really?
Yeah, we've seen more overtly gay characters on television, let alone in a theatrical movie. So to me, it's a non-issue. It didn't.
I felt like you. I think it is a perfectly fine movie. However, if you look at Cinderella is a superlative live-action remake. Jungle Book is a remarkable live-action remake of an ad. So this is, it's got some rough acts to follow, I think.
Yeah.
Having said that, she doesn't sing very well.
I thought she sang fine.
She sings fine.
I thought she sang fine.
She sings fine. Okay. I don't know why they cut 3 of the best songs from the stage play to insert
new songs.
3 pretty mediocre songs.
None of them you weren't humming them when you left, the way you would like Gaston.
Well, especially since they replaced really strong songs in the stage play, like Human Again, which I thought they would do.
Yes.
And his ballad, If I Could Love Her, so bad with it, and her big home number that also cut.
That did seem odd that some of the new songs were only like 4 lines, and that seemed to be the end of the song. There may have been some themes here and there, but a lot of these new songs weren't full productions.
I think the movie
that was an odd choice.
Is overproduced, and I think that
it's terribly Baroque.
Well,
and you know what they say: if it's not Baroque, don't fix it.
But it's coming at you, and like the Be Our Guest number, there's so much going on. You have no idea what the point of view is, the context, or the frame of reference. So it's sort of visual
everything
noise.
is so ornate and overly stitched, and they whole make a point of it. When like making the dress, everything is just has to be overly detailed.
All right, you want to talk about the
It
dress?
was- it was too
Do you want
much
to talk
to
about
look
the
at.
dress? The dress sucks.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry. That dress should like the dresses on Cinderella. You go, oh my god, oh. No, what's that canary yellow dowdy thing that they put her in?
It
oh
is canary
no,
yellow.
it's canary yellow. It should be
Should it
like
be gold filigree?
gold. It should shimmer. It should be great. And speaking of shimmering, this is the other problem: is that the film is so overly cut and overly edited. For example, when the reveal of the prince at the end, which in both
we're not giving anything away. There, you know that's coming.
you
so
know what happens.
You know
there.
it's coming.
Okay, so the reveal both in the stage production and in the animated version are spectacular. Really visually stunning and memorable. In this case, the director is so busy cutting from outside the window, from the other side of the room, to this side of the room, to that side
It
of
takes
the room,
away from the impact.
that you never just get to watch it happen. And I think
Right.
that happens through a lot of the movie. It's Bill Condon, the guy that directs Dreamgirls and Gods and Monsters, and God knows a really good director. But
Oh, yeah,
just,
send some
it's just
up.
cut to the beat, cut to the beat. It's just like okay, just
Some of the special
let me look
effects,
at it. Let me look at
and
it.
some of the special effects I thought were really well done, but there was a couple of times where like the beast looked like he was pasted in.
Well, a lot of people have this
yeah,
criticism.
and
It didn't bother me so much.
It didn't bother me so much, but the love story seemed a little forced, honestly, just a little bit. Like he didn't seem that interesting.
Speaking of forced,
Maybe that's why it took so long to fall in love with it.
Speaking of
But,
forced, how about that French accent?
Oh,
Ewan
there's
McGregor.
English, there's French, there's all over the place. I'm not too worried about that.
No, I'm talking about Ewan McGregor's French accent.
What about it? Please
It's
go on.
pretty bad. It's really strangely bad from a really good actor like that. You know what the giveaway is? Sorry.
What?
You know what the giveaway is not his weird, accents of English words. The giveaway is the way he says French words. Is the giveaway. Is
Yeah.
the like that's
Do you not swallow the R enough?
no, like there are words like for I don't know. Okay, for example, at one point he goes, "Oh, we were funny." Okay, the word is "funnily," and they wouldn't say like, "Oh, I know, I'll use an American accent." You know what I mean? It just wouldn't. So it's just weird. And there's a bunch of those things where he says French words with like an American French. Anyway, who cares? It's a cartoon, I guess. Not all of the figures as enchanting as these. Do you think?
Well, it seemed like they did add a couple extra people, and I couldn't quite tell what their purpose was in the movie, what role these extra characters had in there, and a couple things they changed, but I wasn't quite sure why they changed them when they had. Maybe because they wanted to make it their own, they have to make the movie slightly different to show you something new.
I think maybe a lot of people wanted to be in it. I
It's
think
really
a lot of
strong
people wanted to be
material.
in
It's
it.
really strong material to begin with. It's
very strong
And then they kind of like armor plated it and added a few other things to make it even more so. And a couple times it worked, and a couple times it took away from it, I thought.
I guess what I'm saying is that the Jungle Book and Cinderella would be very difficult things to translate if you know those films very well. Very difficult to translate well and make them at all relevant, and yet they were done. Beauty and the Beast is the most cinematic. I mean, it's just built. It can work in the stage. It can work. It's just such a perfect piece that why there's just a lot of we just need to throw a lot more glitter on it.
Yeah,
and
that's
like
kind of what it was, throwing a little glitter on it, yeah.
and as the songs moved, they felt the need in almost every one of them to like have like this weird dialogue vignette as the song's building. They kept cutting off for people to like have a little chatter
Almost as if to justify the song.
to explain. Right. Yes.
This is what we're doing, and
Anyway.
this is why.
However, if you were someone that has an affinity for the subject matter, if you're somebody that has an inclination to see the movie,
Oh, it's going to make a ton of money.
you're going to have a good time.
It is. Now I know we've been talking a lot about what's wrong with it, but it is a good time. I mean, it
is a good time.
She's wonderful.
Lovely.
She's absolutely
She's
lovely.
lovely. Although he photographs everything so lovingly and so, I mean, just the right lens, everything except her. She is the most uncarefully shot thing in the entire motion picture. It's really weird. Like there's a we don't need to,
There's soft lighting no matter where you go, whether it's in the pub or in the forest
not her.
or in the castle.
not her. it's like, okay, she's pretty. We can just put the lighter on her and just, it's like, no, make her
She's
look
so pretty.
beautiful.
She doesn't even need it.
Well,
she doesn't even need it. Maybe that's what they were going
She is
for.
very pretty.
I thought everyone in it did a fine job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have a nice time. I think many of us wanted it to soar the way that Cinderella and Jungle Book soared.
Right.
Just like lifted it to this doesn't lift it to a new height. You're not going to enjoy this version more than you enjoyed the cartoon, and you're not going to enjoy it more than you enjoyed the stage version if you saw a professional.
Well, to me, this seemed more like a remake of the original movie than, say, like Jungle Book did, where Jungle Book kind of took a familiar story and told it in a different way.
But there's a slightly darker tone on this, like Gaston, who I think that was the best performance in the movie. And
he was
Luke Evans.
Yeah, he was great.
Really good. But again, not much of a sense of humor.
Yeah, there
about himself.
Well, I think across the movie, the humor was a little sparse.
It's a little. It took itself quite seriously.
Like they took some
an operetta.
They took some money out of the humor department to put on more gold filigree and more ornate things. So,
but it's going to make. I predict right now it's going to make more money than any Disney live action film in history.
They're going to make more.
Yeah, they're going to make a lot more. I just hope Tim Burton doesn't Tim Burton up Dumbo too much. You know?
It's set in a circus, and you love circuses.
I know, but
there's going to be black and white stripes everywhere.
I know.
All right.
But you know what?
What?
If you don't feel like seeing this, you know what you should go out and see?
What's that? Besides this?
King Kong.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay. It's fantastic trash. It's silly. It's ridiculous. But my goodness.
Does it know it's silly and
yes.
ridiculous?
Oh, it knows exactly what it's doing. It's great fun.
You know what movie I had a lot of fun at? Lego Batman.
Yeah.
But it's not trash. It knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then takes it to the nth degree, and they have so much fun, and the audience has so much fun.
Yeah.
Some people call it the best Batman movie ever. I don't know about that.
I don't know that I
But
would say
it
that.
is up there. It is fantastic.
hyperbole,
And it's a lot of emotion in that too, in the Lego Batman movie. A lot of emotion. Where you're like, oh my, I didn't even explore that side of the characters and things like that.
I think you liked it more than I did, but all right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. Also a very good movie. We recommend that. So we got Kong for you. Look at you get bonus reviews.
And if you have the opportunity to see Kong in the theater with the seats, it's called what, 4D now?
Oh, they have like rumble seats.
Oh my gosh! And there's wind and everything. I mean, I didn't.
So it's like a theme park ride.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I have not seen this yet.
Anyway,
if you can get rumble seats for King Kong,
there's very few theaters that are
if you can get rumble seats for Beauty and the Beast, there's a few action sequences.
You can get rumble seats for just about anything.
I'm saying I would love a rumble seat for the whole Gaston number in the pub. They could splash beer on you. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I
Yes,
give it a
it's very
thumbs
enjoyable.
up. I just wished it. It was so close to being.
I think this is one though. I don't know if you have to rush out to see it in the theater. Like if you're.
Well, no, because
if
it's
you're
going to
not
be
sure.
playing there for freaking ever. Because
It is.
It's
But
gonna
I think
be
you
there.
could equally enjoy this at home, and maybe some of that ornateness will. It might the smalling down might help it a little bit.
No, I
You can get a
think
bigger
I think you got to
perspective.
get it.
Yeah? Yeah.
I think you got to get the whole bazooka dose. I really do.
Well, that's what they're going for. So if you want the whole bazooka dose, then by all means see it on the big
The
screen.
bazooka dose. We
But-
need to
but
copyright
it-
that term.
Bazooka dose. You heard it here first.
Bazooka
Anyone else
dose.
tries it, we will find a lawyer somewhere who's willing to work pro bono, and will come after you like a kitten.
Which really no one, but all right. Bazooka dose.
Bazooka dose. Right here.
This has been a bazooka dose of information and
Yes.
cinematic wisdom.
A bazooka dose of gold filigree. Thanks for watching. I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
This has been Talking During the Movie.
Yeah, we need to remember that.
Bazooka dose. We'll have t-shirts next time.
Bazooka dose.
Bazooka dose.
I like it very, very much.